Buffs Nation, what is going on? Hope you guys got some rest after that late night showdown between our CU Buffs and the Colorado State Rams. Man, what a game! I got a ton to get into, so please hit that like on the way in. Check in, let me know who's watching. And man, I got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about the good first, though, and get into some of the concerning. But overall, I want to open up with this. I think it's so funny. I think it's so funny. People are trying to move the goalposts on this team. No, 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 no. We've been talking on this channel for months and months and months and months. I mean, heck, even since I started this channel, that we're going to enjoy this season to its fullest. We're going to have fun no matter what. We're going to enjoy this. And my goodness, what a show. What a show yesterday. Jonathan Bernard is in the house. Thank you so much. And I got to say, I slept in my Carter Stoutmire jersey. I was just that pumped after the win. Thank you for all who tuned in with me and Big Dog yesterday for Big Dog and Dave live watch along. But let's get into this. I love how people are trying to move the goalposts on this team. Say, I want to see Colorado fail now because they're overhyped. No, 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 no. I was even going back and forth with a Ute fan on Twitter saying, act like you belong. Storm the field against a G5 opponent. That's pathetic. Any other season, I can get it. But this is about enjoying the moment to the fullest, having the most fun. And you know what? We haven't belonged the last 20 years. So why are you expecting us to behave like we've been there? No, no, no. Some of y'all just take all this way too seriously. You get caught up in, what the results look like with some nuances, or, we didn't beat them good enough type of thing. Don't get me wrong. I love to see us dominate. I want to see these big blowout wins. You know that I was expecting that coming into this game last night. But my goodness, can we just appreciate what we watched? That was an amazing second half performance by this team. And don't worry, I'm going to get into CSU, what they were doing too. But man, what a comeback. We saw Shedeur Sanders orchestrate an 11-point comeback for this Buffs team in the fourth quarter. We saw him reenact John Elway's 98-yard drive. The drive also ended in a 2-point conversion, but just methodically brought the team down the field, 98 yards to tie it up. I mean, big passes to Michael Harrison, Tarvarius Dawson on that drive, Xavier Weaver down the field. And then to score the touchdown, Jimmy Horn, I mean, who had a rough game, showed up when it mattered the most, juking that terrible number 11 safety into the sideline, diving in for the touchdown. Big time play from him. And then we saw Mikey Harrison come up with another 2-point conversion. Man, it was just beautiful. And we got to give Mikey Harrison, again, one of David Togg's Buffs, one of the 5, my guys, the big sleepers, the underrated players going into this year that I was going to cheer extra hard for. That was Carter Stoutmire, Bishop Thomas, Michael Harrison, Mark Bassett, our punter. Haven't seen Javon Antonio yet. That's okay. We'll see him later on. But an impressive performance. And this team brought it in overtime. It took us a while to find our rhythm, but we eventually found our rhythm. And the resilience of this team. I mean, how can you not love what we watched last night? Forget that I lost a little bit of money on them not covering the spread. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I'm still up big time, baby. And I'm having just so much fun watching this team every week. It is just a treat. And so I don't want us to lose sight of that. Or have people, people are already texting me, all my friends saying, can't wait till Coach Prime leaves, yada, yada, yada. Nah, man. You're not going to rain on my parade here. No, 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 no. Gonna enjoy every single week. Gonna enjoy every single win, man. This was so impressive. So let me get into some of my players of the game. then I'm going to open it up to discussion and highlight some of your comments and all that. So please continue to support the channel. Hit that like. Let me know who's listening in the comments. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. But man, players of the game, let's get to it. Our Heisman candidate right now, Shedeur Sanders. I mean, veins of ice. 80% completion percentage again. 38 of 47. 348 yards. 4 TDs. His first interception of the season. But man, he placed that ball in there nicely. Jimmy Horn just couldn't come down with it. It was a tough catch. It was a nice throw. But, it just didn't work out. But that's okay. Shedeur Sanders, he was the leader that we needed, and he elevated the team. He put the team on his back, and this is who he is. Just like Coach Prime was saying in the press conference, this is who he is. And his leadership, I mean, even after Travis took that obvious cheap shot, him coming up, headbutting that guy, showing that leadership, he had everybody ready to go in that second half, and particularly in the fourth quarter. It was so impressive. How can you not love Shedeur Sanders, man? How can you not love him? And then walking off with the shades on, it was like a movie. It was awesome to see. And I mean, the good guys, we won last night, right? We won last night. Really quick, I just want to hit on this. 17 penalties, 182 yards. I mean, about half of those, right, were personal fouls by Colorado State. It's clear that they came in here. Coach Norvell wanted to play a dirty game. I'll get back to that later. But this team remained composed. They did not let these cheap shots get the best of them in terms of them retaliating and shooting themselves in the foot. No. They remained composed. We saw an improvement from that with Nebraska. We shot ourselves in the foot a lot when it came to the retaliation. We did a better job this time around. We got the win. Let's not lose sight of that, guys. Okay? Xavier Weaver, looking like a first-round pick out there, man. This was his first single game, single-digit receiving game. Only 9 receptions instead of the 10 receptions he's had in the first 2 games. But, man, he was really Shedeur's go-to guy, his security blanket. 9 receptions, 98 yards, a great touchdown, a 2-point conversion. I mean, it was great. Yeah, his 2-point conversion was in overtime, I believe, to help win the game. He was great. Michael Harrison. Guys, this man is a walk-on tight end. He's a converted wide receiver from last year. Tim Brewster, hats off to Tim Brewster getting this guy ready. It was amazing to finally see him, have a little bit more of a role in the offense. Colorado State could not cover him. And, I mean, I'm just so happy for him. We have a handful of scholarship spots still available. I would love to see Michael Harrison get this scholarship. He was that guy, that was able to find these soft spots in the zone over the middle, where we were able to, utilize him in some of these seam routes. I'm so happy for him. And, I mean, he came to play. He was making these catches, because sometimes, you can get overwhelmed by the moment. But, he caught what he was supposed to. He was big. He was big on that opening play, where I guess it was a 2nd and 8 on that 98-yard drive, getting the first down, getting the chains moving. And that's all we needed to believe, that we had this in the bag. I mean, just amazing stuff. Tarvarish Dawson, transfer from Auburn. Man, he's had more of a role in the offense than I initially expected, and it's been wonderful to see. He's been very solid. 5 receptions, 60 yards. He was great. Jimmy Horn, 7 receptions, 66 yards, and the game-tying touchdown. Made the big plays when it mattered. Let's talk about the defense here real quick, yeah? Let's give credit to Juwan Mitchell. He's been here about a month now, maybe even less than a month. Transfer from Arizona State. He has been so crucial to this defense, and he's still getting up to speed. 15 tackles, 13 solo. How can you not be impressed with him? 1 tackle for loss. He has been, he's only going to get better in this defense as he gets more comfortable. He was fantastic. Let's talk about Cameron Stillman Craig. 2nd straight game with an interception. 9 tackles, 9 solo. He was all over the field. I loved it. Let's talk about Jordan Dominic. 4 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. And how could I forget? How could I forget about Shilo Sanders? Hope you enjoyed church this morning, brother. Like, man, that cracked me up, man, when he was saying in the press conference, he's like, Jesus, if you can just give me a pick 6, I promise I'll go to church. So I hope you enjoyed church this morning, Shilo. I went to church yesterday. I went to the Church of Prime. Wasn't that football game just amazing? But man, Shilo Sanders with a pick 6 to start the game, a forced fumble later on. Let's see. We got 4 tackles from Shilo. He did a wonderful job. And man, highly impressed with him. It was great to see both of the Sanders sons ball out in this game. Absolutely. And then let's give credit to Alejandro Mata. Ice in his veins. Got a few different field goals, extra points for us. It was good to see him on the field. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. Want to give our special teams a credit. We had a field goal block. I think that was Leonard Payne. We still need to clean up that left side of the field goal blocking line. This is the second time that we've had a field goal blocked. But when we've been able to block effectively, we're 100% right now, man. Now, I've loved that we've been able to be, Jace Feely's kicking those touchbacks. We love it. Mark Bassett had some good punts last night. So overall, I think we are taking steps in the right direction. But man, we survived the trap game. We absolutely survived the trap game. And I think right now, looking at this team, I think that, we have performed better when we've been that underdog. And we're definitely going to be that underdog going into 2 hard matchups right now against Oregon and USC, especially likely without, one of our best players, if not the best player, Travis Hunter. And let's get to this. Jay Norvell, man. And this, guys, and this is so weird for me because, yes, like, I root for Colorado State outside of the Rocky Mountain Showdown, and that's how it is for a lot of people out here, Like, it's a rivalry, but we don't really have many close games like this. Obviously CU has dominated the rivalry. And it feels weird because I feel like the way in which Jay Norvell coached this game, it's weird because it's like, I don't want to root for the Rams as long as he's coaching up there in Fort Collins. It was very, like, you're talking about like every little sleazy used car salesman tactic, to dirty up a game. I mean, that's what happened. It was very clear from the get-go that this team was okay and was told to be taking cheap shots and personal fouls. And then Jay Norvell coming up in the press conference saying like, this was the worst, or something along the lines of like, this is the worst ref game I've ever been a part of. Are you serious? You're lucky that your safety, what's his name? Let me look it up here real quick. Henry Blackburn, number 11, was not ejected for a clear target on Travis Hunter up the sideline. That was one of the dirtiest plays that I've seen in football in quite a while. And this was one of the dirtiest teams, one of the dirtiest games I've seen play by a team in a long time. It was very clear that they were coming out there with bounties and intention to deliberately injure our players. And it's just a damn shame, man. Like, when you look back at that hit that Henry Blackburn had on Travis Hunter, it's clear he's not even tracking the ball. He's tracking where Travis Hunter is, and he's coming in there for a cheap shot. And it's disgusting stuff. It's disgusting stuff. And it's like, I never expect the NCAA to do the right thing anymore, but that man should be suspended for quite a while for something like that. Because if it wasn't for dirty, cheap shots, we're going up against Oregon and USC, with all of our best players, you know, and while I still think, man, those games are going to be competitive still, it just sucks. Like, we're talking about big ticket fights. We want to see everybody. We want to see both Oregon and USC and Colorado all at their fullest strength because we want to see, who that best team is. And it sucks that it was robbed tonight because of the fact that they decided to take cheap shots. I mean, I don't even know how many unsportsmanlike and unnecessary roughness hits they had, but man, it was disgusting. And then let's get into the other tactic of them. Clearly, anytime that this offense got momentum, on CU's end, CSU was always going down to the field with some sort of injury to stop momentum. Again, that's not against the rules. It's just sleazy, fake injuries. And, it was disgusting. Like, I was disgusted with with just what they did. And yeah, I haven't seen a Rocky Mountain Showdown like that ever before, where there was deliberate shots to injure our players. And it's like, all right, like, you can get at Shedeur for the eye poke, but it's like, I don't care about that, man. The eye poke it's not sending anybody to the hospital, man. And, it's a damn shame. And I want to give Coach Prime credit because in the press conference, man, I don't know how he could come out there and say that. And just give praise, or like take the high road rather, with Coach Prime and with Coach Norvell and everybody like that. Overall, it was a disgusting game played on CSU's end. There are a couple players that I do want to give credit from CSU's end, and that was their quarterback, Nicolosi. Foul Nicolosi, man, that guy hit some airtight windows with some of his passes, and it's what kept CSU in the game and in the lead at certain points. Their wide receivers, number 14 and 4, and their tight end, they really brought it. Dallin Holker. See, we had Aiden Hector, Chase Wilson. Or no, I'm reading the defensive score. Where's the receiving? Lewis Brown the 4th. Dan Holker, Trey Horton, those guys, man, they really did bring it. And yeah, but it just sucks to see like how ugly that game got, But I do want to end my little rant with this, and then I'll get into the comments. Jay Norvell talked a tough game this whole week, talking about, making statements about Coach Prime and his family, how he was raised, all that. It's clear that they came in with intention to be the more physical team. They were okay taking cheap shots and personal fouls. And like, that did knock us off a bit. That first half, man, I think we were definitely shocked a little bit, and shocked with, losing a player like Travis Hunter. I think it took us a little bit to find our wits, to find our way. And Jay Norvell wanted to act like this, super tough coach. But when they were driving at the end of the fourth, when it mattered the most, and you really got to put, all your chips to the table, he punted on 4th and 2. He should have been going for it if he truly believed in his team. But, he got hesitant, and he paid for it, right? He paid for it. So I think that's all that I have to comment on the game right now. Overall, people, again, they're going to try and get all upset, or like, want to try and move the goalposts. Should we have won this game by a lot more points than we did? Yes. But that wasn't the reality of the game. CSU came in there, made plays, and we weren't ready in some senses. But, when you're just looking at that, put the expectations prior to the game aside. Wasn't that an awesome comeback? Wasn't that an awesome game? We saw another iconic moment from Shedeur Sanders, and it was well worth staying up for. So, all right, going to get to some of the super chats. Norvell is a modern day John Kreese. He's teaching them to be a modern day Cobra Kai. He leads by terrible example. Thank you so much for the super chat. Uh, this is Kayal. Thank you. $5. My goodness. Thank you so much for for that donation. That helps this channel out. We're growing here at David Talks Buffs. I mean, man, the growth has been crazy, and we're just on like step one right now to world domination here with the channel. So it really means a lot you tune in, but you're absolutely right. I really do wonder how some recruits will look at this game, because man, it was just very clear that they wanted to be that heel, but um, I can't ever excuse cheap shots like that. It was disgusting. And I think, like I said on Twitter, man, I think his mom would be disappointed in him, you know. But hey, we got the win. The good guys won last night, and that's really the most important thing. And Colorado fans, again, like some of y'all coming on here saying the hype is too much. I'm already sick of it. I'm already having friends text me this. Come on now, man. Y'all are moving the goalposts. Y'all were rooting for us 2 weeks ago. y'all are sending me congratulations 2 weeks ago on this team, and you're not going to change my perspective. I'm going to hold perspective with this team. That's for darn sure. And I mean, how are you not entertained? Are you not entertained by this team and seeing this team win in different situations, in different fashions? It's great. I do think, like I said, that this team plays better right now with, kind of being underrated, not being expected to go out there and get victories. This was the first game of the year that we were coming in there as massive favorites. And, we got a little stunned there at the beginning, and it took us a little bit to find our footing. Let's get into some of the things that I wish to see corrected. First off, Charles Kelly, man, what the heck? What the heck? Covered the short crossing route. I don't understand why we weren't playing a little bit more zone, especially with a quarterback that, yes, made some crazy throws last night, but it's not like we're going up against, Williams or Michael Penix or heck, even Chandler Morris, from TCU. I was a little surprised that there wasn't really any adjustment made on those crossers to eliminate them. We really made the game easy for them on defense. That is for sure. On the flip side, with the offense, I was glad we were able to find our mojo moving forward, like into the fourth quarter and beyond. But I felt like overall, like this was a game in which our coaching staff was very slow to make the appropriate adjustments. There were some instances where our line was really struggling in both run blocking and pass protection. Again, we had Hank Zelinskis, true freshman, making his debut at center with Van Wells out. And I mean, that was difficult. I kind of wish that we had put Landon Beebe over at center and then brought Jack Wiltie back in, because I thought Jack Wiltie played a really great game at right guard against TCU. And maybe we see some different line combinations or a line combination change this week against Oregon. But something clearly needs to change, with the offensive line. I don't think we can have right now. Again, it's hard to have a true freshman come in there and play immediately. And I think Hank Zelinskis, as a true freshman, we just might be better right now having Landon Beebe slide over there. I mean, he's a big boy, but again, we'll just have to see. I'll have some different breakdowns this week with like QB Spotlight, and he might be able to give some more context on what he thought from the line. But there were some things, especially with Colorado State, kind of doing this whole thing of dropping or rushing 3 or 4, dropping 7 or 8 back in coverage. And sometimes I wish that Shedeur had a little bit like easier of a route, or like a hot route or a dump off available to him, a check that he can make and just take the easy stuff. Because I still feel like we were throwing a lot of stuff that took a lot of time for the routes to develop. And he did much better in the second half in terms of evading the rushers, navigating the pocket. His pocket presence and poise was awesome. But outside of hitting that quick screen game, which really didn't seem to get going, we weren't really giving Shedeur many options to get the ball out of his hands just early. So that's what I would like to see again moving forward. Like what we saw with TCU, there were just a lot of quick passes. That was great. Kevin coming in here with a super chat. Thank you so much. You are so kind. Really appreciate it. He says, I think a close game like this shows the grit, the determination, and coming back did more for the recruits than a blowout. What are your thoughts? Man, I think that's a great point. It's a great point. It really shows the mental makeup of this team. Again, like what we've seen, and this is what people were predicting, because we've kind of seen it's been a both and type of thing. We have seen our top players, man, put us over the top, and we knew that was going to happen. Like they were going to keep us in some ball games and they were going to win us some ball games, right? And we've seen that these first 3 games. But also, there's still so much of this team that really is a work in progress. And so we have done things to shoot ourselves in the foot. Again, the turnovers, Travis Hunter fumble, Shedeur Sanders, that interception that goes off of Jimmy Horn's hands, the blocked field goal. We're still making mistakes that are keeping teams like CSU in it. The good news is that we have been able to consistently put those bad plays behind us, move forward on the next play, and really focus on what's ahead. And it would be so easy for a team like CU in the past that would be a big favorite to come in and lay down after they experience a few different body shots, gut punches, a few cheap shots, from behind the back. But they remain composed, and it really shows the type of leadership and coaching that they have to where they were able to move past all of that. I do think, though, I think CSU did allow themselves to kind of get in our heads, post game, like making things pre-game, making things messy beforehand, like seeing our players talking, all of that. I think they did get us a little distracted, and I think that's something that we need to learn from moving forward. I think that we can remain confident, but we don't always need to be going out there being the ones talking the most. Although I do love the show. I do love the show, right? But I think recruits, man, they had a great time. Credit to the fans, because some of them were up, close to 24 hours, right, with when the game ended. And I mean, some of them were up at 4:30, for Big Noon and College Game Day, 3 a.m. for Big Noon and College Game Day. And they were there the whole day on campus and through the whole game. So credit to everybody who stuck it out for like 20 hours or so. 22 hours or so. That is incredibly impressive, and I hope everybody is recovering and getting the rest they need today. That's for sure. Reginald McRae, thank you so much for the $1 donation. It really does mean a lot. Again, I'm trying to give you great Buffs content every day here in the season. If you checked out my channel before, I have people on pretty much every day. So getting a lot of different perspective. And when you're coming to this channel, it's all fun, man. I'm naturally a positive guy, but as a CU graduate and, someone that, obviously loves this team, this season is just so special, and no one's going to rain on my parade. Hell no. People are going to try and move the goalposts on this team. No. I still feel like obviously these things got tougher with Oregon and USC these next couple weeks if indeed we don't have Travis, man. That's a huge blow to our defense. But I will say, with the offense that we have, man, anything is possible. And the turnovers that our defense still generates, even though the lines are clearly an issue right now, anything is possible. And this team plays best when they're doubted the most. So I cannot wait for Oregon and USC. I got tickets to the USC game. That's going to be a lot of fun. But man, I just absolutely love this team. Every single game has been so much fun to watch. And again, we've seen different guys step up. It's been a beautiful thing. I mean, how beautiful is it to finally see Mikey Harrison have his moment, right? Get that man a scholarship. Converted receiver, walk-on receiver, now walk-on starting tight end. Tim Brewster, hats off to you. It was wonderful. Coach Prime also said something yesterday in the press conference in terms of run defense. He thinks it is really just a mentality, and that is something that, again, I would like to see this team improve on. But this was my biggest question mark, was the front seven coming into the year, and that has definitely been the case. It's a bend don't break defense right now, but we need to do we we're doing a lot of bending right now, and when we get into conference play, we got to take it up a level. But again, with this team, I feel like they play their best when and they play up to their competition, right? So I think they're going to learn a lot in the film. I think there was just a lot of things that we were just late adjusting with. I think we'll learn from this of just coming in. I think our team came in distracted after all those pregame shenanigans. I think that's really the case. And, we'll just have to see how we bounce back. If there's one thing that's clear from this team, is that we do definitely bounce back. So it's going to be a fun year. We got 9 more games at least to watch this team. Nicholas Braxton, good to see you. I want to see Cormani and Alton now, though. Yeah, I'm telling you. And I think, again, we rested a handful of guys that probably could have played this week, but we wanted to get through this win and make sure everybody was healthy. We definitely need somebody like Alton McCaskill being that 1-2 with Dylan Edwards, maybe taking a little bit of pressure off of Dylan. And I mean, Alton McCaskill, offensive freshman of the year in the AAC, fantastic. He's ready to go, and I'm glad. I think we will see him next week against Oregon, no doubt. Now, am I a little bit more worried about USC than I was previously? For sure. It sucks. It sucks, man, having Travis Hunter out. And it sucks because he was out on a play that was clearly intentional to hurt him, to injure him. The guy wasn't making a play on the ball. It was clear that he lined up and he wound up. He wound up for a cheap shot. So, and that guy, man, he's a local Boulder player, man, from Fairview. So it's just disgusting. Shame on Henry Blackburn, for real. He should be suspended. That was a dirty play, and man, it felt great to see Jimmy Horn score that game-winning touchdown on him, man. Terrible. Javon Antonio was saying he will be back against Oregon. Love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. And again, Travis J, Brandon Gant, I would, maybe we see them make their debut. We're going to need the defensive reinforcements going up against Oregon. And, Oregon right now, they're going to come out, man. They're going to run that ball. And we need to make it a duel between Bo Nix and Shedeur Sanders. Because if that's the case, I'm going with Shedeur every time, right? But we need to stop the run to a point where it does force them to put the ball in their quarterback's hands. Right now, I am a little concerned, with that going into this game. Hopefully we see improvement from the defense for sure. But glad to see we should get Javon Antonio back. We'll have Alton McCaskill. I think Van Wells will play, which will be awesome. Again, on the defense, maybe Miles Slusher will return. Brandon Gant, Travis J. Credit to Kedrick Breelove, making that pass breakup there at the end in overtime. He was picked on quite a bit after he came in the game for Travis Hunter. Hopefully we can see Cormani McClain get some reps here coming up soon. Your big, long, rangy corner. And we're definitely going to need him with Travis Hunter out. I have no idea what Travis Hunter's injury is. I've seen rumors of what it is on Twitter, but no idea right now. I just hope he's okay, and I hope it's not anything broken or serious like that. Again, that's the one damper on this game, was just some of the cheap shots. Yeah, JP, good to see you. Cormani should have it in mind to show out in practice this week. He gets a look against Oregon if he does, man. I would love to see that. And I think that there's going to be some things like Rob the Man brought up on my channel earlier this week. There's going to be some things on offense and defense that Oregon and USC haven't seen yet, that we haven't put on tape. Heck, they haven't even seen all of our players play. But hey, Tao, you're right. Injuries happen. Next man up, and that's the mentality that this coaching staff takes. There are no excuses. There are no excuses for why we should not be getting wins. But I think you guys are right in terms of, the secondary. We need some guys coming back. I think Kendrick Breelov is definitely one of those guys that it's tough, man. Right now, it's a tough matchup for him going up against those ones. Jaquez, another guy we should be getting back. I love it. So, overall, and Demoy Kennedy, seeing some speed out there at linebacker, I think is going to be very helpful against these conference opponents. So, yeah, I'm just looking at some of these. Travis getting discharged from the hospital today. Again, man, that's great. You never want to see that. And that's the one thing that bums me out. But, man, that was an instant classic last night. And it was, just the good guys won, man. The good guys won. I'll go here for a few more minutes and then I'm going to get out of here, but always appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you haven't. I kind of see my role here in this thing of, making sure that I'm connecting and collaborating with as many people as I can. And it doesn't matter, man, if the Buffs have been your team your whole life or if you have like another main team, like Buffs Nation. Let's all enjoy this together. Everybody's welcome in Buffs Nation because this is just fun to watch. Like, this is fun to watch. This is a great story. We're seeing Coach Prime do things that I've never seen done like in my life, and he's changing the game. And so everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome to my channel. And when you come here, we're just gonna have fun, man. We're gonna have fun. Tony Beard coming in here saying Travis will play next week. You talking about Travis J or Travis Hunter? Bruised ribs, thank freaking God. When I was doing the watch along with Big Dog Chico yesterday, when that hit first happened, I thought he broke his ribs. I was really nervous. Jonathan Clark coming in here. Texas Tech was still 0-1 and unranked -6. I know Buffs was -23. Both played close versus unranked teams. Yeah. And we saw that happen with Florida State, Boston College yesterday. We saw Texas and Wyoming was tied going into the fourth quarter. Alabama had a close game with South Florida. Let's see who else. We saw Georgia kind of play a pretty close game with South Carolina. Of course, that defense freaking brought it on Spencer Rattler in the second half. No points allowed in the second half. And Georgia was able to roll. Behind their dominant offensive and defensive lines. So it was a weird week in college football for sure. And man, I just thought this stuff was so funny. Also, Danny Cannell, man, total clown. It's clear he's just jealous or envious. But him saying, well, no one cares about this game and it was going to be an ugly game. So I didn't even want to interview anybody that was involved from the players or coaches and all of that. Nah, man, you're just a hater. You're just a clown. I mean, how dumb did his take look with, how that game played out yesterday? I mean, that should be one of the highest rated games this week again. And man, doesn't this team put on a show, right? Man, I loved it. Tremaine Young, good to see you again. One of my regulars. After the game, I blame the coordinator. They have to create plays to get yards on the ground. I kept saying toss the ball outside, run an option, reverse something. Yes. I don't think we've shown all these different wrinkles that we should be integrating into the offense. This was the first game where I was just like, what the heck? Is going on. I guess against Nebraska, I was a little thrown off that Sean Lewis didn't have us going up tempo really quick. But guys, there's so much of an advantage going up tempo, even if the team coming in here plays at altitude like Colorado State or like Utah, because if you're moving, hurry up. If you're moving fast, snapping the ball every 20 or 30 seconds in real time, that puts pressure on the defense to get aligned quicker, to make sure they have their assignments and communication down. And that leads to communication breakdowns when you're pushing the pace. Then it leads towards broken coverages and big plays. People aren't totally set. So that's why, to me, it's so important that we continue to work in playing at a high pace, because you're making players think more. I think one thing that kept Nebraska in it, was the fact that we weren't moving fast. We were allowing their defense to fully get set. And the quicker we play, I think that benefits our offense and our run game better. But yeah, you guys are right. We definitely need Javon Antonio coming up here if Travis doesn't play, right? Gearhead, good to see you. Hopefully Travis can heal faster than expected. Would be great if he can make it back for the USC game. Yes. Like, that is the game I care about most for the rest of the season, is the USC game. If you need to keep him out next week on the road against Oregon, that's fine. We got to make sure we put on a show here at home and get that first ever win against USC. If y'all are tuning in, CU is 0-16 all time against the Trojans. So it is very important that we get this win this year. We get to 1-16 and, kick them off to the Big Ten, right? We need this win because we're never going to play them again unless we meet in like the college football playoff. Now that it's expanded and stuff, that'd be cool. But I don't think you'll see us scheduling any out of conference matchups with USC moving forward. I would like to see a schedule Notre Dame. I wonder if they would be interested in that. Let's bring back the Orange Bowl rivalries. Zion, Rod Ward needs to see the field. I'm there with you. I would like to see him play more as well. Hey, shout out to true freshman, though, from DeSoto, Jaden Milner-Jones. Came up with some big plays, some good wrap-up tackles to save first downs yesterday in the second half. Yeah, Tremaine, you're bringing up an idea that I've thought about. What if we have our guards as Wilty and BB if Van Wells is okay and can start? Wilty and BB were the guys that I was expecting to start. I just think Jack Bailey's a little light right now. Zulus, we have no pass rushers, yes, and again, I wasn't paying too much attention, but I don't think we were doing a lot of blitzing, right? And I would like to see more of that in the coming weeks. Oh yeah. Again, we're still doing our kicker by committee. I think based on the yardage and the spot on the field, there are shots in which Mata is going to take those kicks versus Feely, and it worked out great. Jay still had a great day kicking those touchbacks. That was extremely important and helpful. And again, if he gets proper blocking on that 39-yarder, it goes in. I mean, he's been great. All right, we got a super chat here from Robbie Blue. Thank you so much. Shout out Atlanta. You guys are my largest market here at David Talks Buffs. So shout out to Atlanta. Really appreciate your support and that you watch along with me, because there's a lot of great creators that you guys could be watching. McCaskill needs to be in the running game. We need this. That's been one of the things that I've been most looking forward to going into this year is Alton McCaskill. Because I still see him as a guy that's going to ball out this year and then go to the NFL next year. That's just me. So he's got a great test ahead of him. With Oregon, I think with definitely USC. Oh my God, wouldn't that be great if we have a great run game against USC and Oregon? I think we got our hands a little bit more full with the Oregon defensive line than we do USC right now. But you're totally right. Alton can help and will help, especially if we are missing somebody like Travis for the next week or two. E for Eddie, good to see you. So much jealousy out there. I can't believe it. Yeah, it's like it's so funny because again, like my wife has brought up, they're always going to be looking for reasons to hate on this team, right? Like that's just what it is. They're always going to find something wrong. Well, they didn't win good enough. They didn't win good enough. Okay. Or, I don't like, Coach Prime does this with the sunglasses. No, man, we've been irrelevant for so long, man. What Coach Prime is doing is so much fun. And people that hate on it, I think it says a lot more about them, that they're more insecure in themselves or maybe take sports a little too seriously. You need to enjoy when you see people have success in notoriety in their fields. And that's what we're witnessing right now. Some of y'all just take sports way too seriously, man. We're all doing this for fun, man. What is the point of coming on here and talking? What is the point of watching if there's just always going to be something to critique? I love sports because I want to be entertained. Kevin, weeks 4 through 6, man, they are tough, and we're going to hope to see this team take a jump. That's for sure. I forget who we got after USC. Let me take a look here. Okay. We got Oregon, we got USC, and we got Arizona State. In Tempe? No. Scottsdale. Going up against Jaden Rashada, who I think is going to turn into a pretty good quarterback for Arizona State, that's for sure. But yeah, then we got Stanford. But man, again, people are going to try and move the goalposts on this. All of a sudden, they're going to try and come out and say like, "Hey, this team's not winning double-digit games." Yada yada yada. No. I've remained consistent, man, since I gave my prediction, on the season, and I still think, man, we're 3-0, baby. We're 3-0. Don't you just love it? And we survived the trap game. Yeah, Jay Milner-Jones, like, man, that guy can play. We are better off with more players coming over here from DeSoto, from Duncanville, from South Oak Cliff. There's a lot of high schools in the Dallas area that I'm hoping to see more recruits coming from here in the future. Hey, guys, can I just tell you, like, one of the funniest things that I got from my friends that live in the North? They said, just wait till Coach Prime leaves for Texas A&M. Dude, I'm like, y'all know nothing about College Station or Texas A&M. That is about as opposite as anything prime time as you can imagine, man. But yeah, that's what people are resorting to now. It's like, hey, y'all didn't win good enough. Oh, there's going to be other schools offering the bag. Dude, I do not give two craps. We're going to enjoy this season. But Rick George, you better be raising that money for that extension now. Oh, Tez coming in here correcting me. It wasn't blocked. It came off his foot wrong. Well, thank you. I'm going to need to look at that with Jace Feely's field goal. Go back and look at that. But I still feel great about our kickers, man. They're both great. That's why he yanked him. Gotcha. Hey, and we're talking about, hey, let's give Coach Prime his credit then, right? Making the appropriate substitution, which led to points, right? Right? So, people would criticize, his ability to do these game day managerial things. No, 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 no. He was able to make the right change at the right time at the kicker position. Wow. Oh, Tez. Yeah, that makes sense. So my channel is sponsored by my good friend Martez Hawkins from Abilene, Texas, and he runs Yo Martez, which is an awesome apparel brand based out of Abilene, Texas, where I'm from. If you want this hat or our Colra Yo retro Ralphie tee that I helped design with him, along with a bunch of other really cool clothes, links in the description to his website, Yo Martez. Use the promo code SCOBuffs. You get 10% off and you can help out this channel. And then on Wednesday, hit my live section on the YouTube channel. Last Wednesday, I interviewed him. So if you want to understand the man kind of behind this hat that I'm always wearing, I love it. Please be sure to watch that because, man, I love my good friend Martez. He is awesome. All right, guys. Man, I appreciate y'all so much. Again, we're having so much fun out here, man, with David Talks Buffs. We're going to enjoy every moment. And a 3-0. 3-0. Let's not lose sight of that. At 3-0 in a really iconic comeback from Shedeur Sanders. 98 yards. He was just cool as ice in the fourth quarter and in overtime. How can you not enjoy watching this team? You know what I'm saying? So it's only week 3. This team will continue to grow and improve. And I will be back with an interview later tonight. I'm going to be on, let me get this right, Coach I's show from The Fan Attic, I believe. And I'm going to be joined from Rain from, he's the Oregon YouTuber as well. So I'll be dual streaming that from my channel, I believe, if that's available. So keep on the lookout for that. But I will tweet it out at David Talks Buffs. Hit that like on the way out. Green Creole, great to see you. There's a lot of regulars in the comments today. So thank you so much. Hope you guys are enjoying this win. Have a wonderful, restful Sunday. I will be back tonight at 9:30 Mountain. And until then, Sco Buffs.